Hey there YouTube, this is Vargas XX78 with another Tales from the Vargas Vault. I know it's been a while since I posted a Vault video, but like I said, I promised I would post one up, and here it is. And in this occasion, I actually wanted to talk about some games for an overlooked console, and that's the good old GameCube. A lot of people, don't like the GameCube because it looked like a kiddie game and the controls were kiddie and whatever, but the fact is, I still defend the GameCube to this day. I think that it came out with an impressive library, a really good game library, and the graphics were pretty good, and the play control was awesome. I mean, any console Nintendo does, you can count on their controls being tight and everything, so I to this day, I still play the GameCube, and since it's an overlooked console, I actually wanted to talk about my top 5 favorite overlooked games on the GameCube and other consoles, because most of them were multi-platform. So, yeah, these are my top 5 underappreciated GameCube games. And at number 5, we have Sega Soccer Slam. Now, I live in Mexico, so football, or soccer as it's called in the U.S., is really big. The World Cup is a huge event here. Every 4 years, everyone in Mexico, cheers on the Mexican team, and even if they don't pass to the next level, we still keep watching the World Cup because it's a big deal here. And we also have our teams and our leagues and everything. So soccer is really big, but soccer video games aren't really that cool for some reason, except the Konami games. Anything that Konami does is guaranteed fun. But Sega came out with this little game. It's not 100% based on the sport, but it's like a mini version of it, with arcade rules and everything. You control 3 characters, and there are teams for each part of the world. But it's basically like it has rules of the sport, but not to the letter. You go around and you can use power-ups and it'll make you run faster, or you can use a power that will make you hit harder. And the field isn't as big; it's a little smaller, which makes the action a lot more fast-paced and a lot more fun. And the graphics were really cool. They had this cartoonish style without being cel-shaded. That really helped a lot. And I actually remember playing this with a friend of mine that was also huge on soccer, and we just had a blast with this game. We would beat each other up and try to score as fast as we can. So as far as soccer football games, this is really fun. Even if you don't like the sport, I would definitely suggest you check this one out because it is just that fun, and it's made by Sega. And actually, the team that developed this game went on to work on the Mario soccer game. So, Nintendo saw the potential of that team and picked it up to make that series of games. So, really cool. Number 2 is actually a game, one of the first games I remember reviewing on my channel, and that's Second Sight. This game was developed by Free Radical, who's the team that made the Time Splitter series. And I remember buying this game and popping it into the GameCube, and I was blown away. You wake up in this medical area, and your body's full of scars, and you're really beat up, and you're trying to figure out what's going on because you don't remember what happened. So you're trying to stealth your way out of the hospital, and then bam, you find out you have telekinetic abilities where you can move things with your mind. And I thought that was really cool. As you're making your way through the game, you get flashbacks of what happened before. And it switches to a third-person shooting style, where you have no powers, and you're trying to complete a mission. And you're kind of like remembering what happened and playing the game at the same time. So that also progressed the story until the flashbacks and what you're living in that, when you're all beat up, kind of like converge in a really cool way. That plot twist at the end I thought was freaking awesome. So it's well written, it plays really cool, and it lets you play. If you're a shooting fan, it has that aspect. If you're into something more like, something different. It has the telekinetic abilities, so really, really awesome game. Just had a lot of fun with this game. Number 3 is actually a game also that came out multi-platform that I popped in and had loads of fun with. Not a lot of people talk about this game either, but that's Gun. A lot of people remember, Red Dead Revolver and now Red Dead Redemption on the PlayStation 3. But this little baby was developed by the team that made the Tony Hawk series, Neversoft. And I had a blast with this game too. I mean, it's kind of like the Grand Theft Auto formula where you can go around this little town and everything. But you start off, helping this little town against the Indians. And then you find out that the Indians aren't the bad guys. The Indians are actually the victims. So you switch sides and you start helping the Indians. While all of that's going on, you can collect bounty missions where you, can go after criminals. And you have the option to either take them down or bring them in alive. Of course, if you bring them in alive, you get a lot more money, so it does motivate you to, try to bring them in alive. And some bounties are really hard because the criminals really put up a fight, but that's the extra added challenge. And the main character is actually voiced by the Punisher, Thomas Jane. So, it had really, really good voice acting, and the story I thought was really cool. I mean, you go through a lot of things in this game, and you actually, at least I actually got involved with the character and what was going to happen. So like I said, just a lot of fun, and it has like this Matrix bullet time where you can slow down time and get headshots, and of course you get more points in that. And when you're with the Indians, you can actually scalp people, and you get more points that way. So just a really, really good Western game. I still think it's overlooked, but just lots of fun. Number 2, I'm sorry, is actually a game I've talked before in another video, but I just can't keep talking about it. And that's Peter Jackson's King Kong, the official video game adaptation of the movie. And it was developed between Peter Jackson and Michael Ansel, who developed the Rayman series. And they made a really, really cool game. I mean, just the fact that when you're in human, you're in this first-person mode, and you have to actually think on how you're going to survive against things like giant bats and velociraptors and T-Rexes and giant bugs and everything. Because you don't get a lot of ammo, so you actually have to think of ways to, get one monster, take one monster down, and then use that monster as bait for a bigger monster. So it really makes you think on how you're going to survive, and that's something you don't get on too many first-person shooters. And then, of course, you have the third-person view where you're playing as King Kong, and that is just total carnage. I mean, you can actually feel that you're controlling Kong, this massive, giant beast that just goes around beating up T-Rexes and everything. So, just a really, really fun game. I don't think it gets the love it deserves. You could tell that both Peter Jackson and Michael Ansel put a lot of love into this game, and it shows because it is really, really well done. So, one of the best movie adaptations, actually, that I've ever played. And number 1 is actually a game that was overlooked when it came out, but now it's finally getting the recognition and the love it deserves. And it's actually a game I'm hoping Ubisoft makes a sequel to, and that's Beyond Good and Evil. Another game made by Michael Ansel, who's the creator of Rayman. And, like I said, now it's starting to get the recognition and the love it deserves. But back in the day, no one bought this game. It went on sale like a few months after it released, because no one was buying it. I actually got it new for like under $20, and I don't know why. This game is just freaking epic. Your main character is Jade, and you start off in this island, and then you get recruited by this like rebel alliance, and they feel something's fishy with the government. So you have to go around sneaking into compounds and government offices and stuff, and you have to take up pictures. You take pictures to get evidence to figure out what's going on, and eventually you do discover that the government is working with this alien race to use the people of the planet as experiments or something. So as you're collecting evidence and filling out the stories, you gradually see how people are starting to think differently about the government. You know, you walk around NPCs and people are saying, "Oh, did you hear about that story?" And "Oh, I'm starting to doubt the government and stuff." And then you start seeing on the walls things like "ban the government experiments" or something like that. So it had that element, which I thought was really cool. And the combat mechanic is also cool. Jade has this stick, and you go around beating up, you know, the government soldiers and everything, and then the aliens. The story was just really, really cool, and the graphics on the GameCube, wow, some of the best graphics on the system. Just everything was beautiful to look at, and it had this cartoony style. I mean, you have your uncle that's a human pig and everything, but it's, you know, it's an alien world. It makes up for that. But it's just a beautiful game. The story is beautiful. It plays like a dream. It has racing modes. It has like I said, stealth. It has combat. Just a really, really complete game. Like I said, it's starting now. It went from a cult to now it has a following. But I really hope they make a sequel to this, because it is just a really, really cool game. And it was a really, really underappreciated game on the GameCube and on the PlayStation 2. So yeah, those were the 5 overlooked games, according to me, on an overlooked console, which is the GameCube. If you have a chance to play one of these games, please do so. You will not regret it. They really are an experience to play. And I just wanted to share that with you guys. Like always, thanks so much for watching, and until I see you again, this is Vargas XX78, signing off.